Think Family 22! Think Family 22, yeah! Yeah! Think Family 22! And this is a continuation, and I'm always going to say this. Select Stop Me! That's where you're going to find me. Select Stop Me! Think Family 22! And you listen to these videos in succession. Don't start here and listen to this one. Oh, I'm just going to do what I want to do. I'm just going to do what I want to do. No. You start at 1 and go to 2, and I keep saying it. I'm going to say this probably every video. I don't know. Maybe. Anyway. That's what I call calm down just a little bit. Calm down, breathe, calm down and breathe. You know, I remember the first time that I ever kind of got a hint about this, because I think that, and you know what we're talking about if you're listening to the Succession, when I'm talking about this and these things and these things, you're going to have to go back and listen to all the videos and know what I'm talking about, okay? So the first time I had believed that I had experienced some things blindly, and I was just kind of, This dude told me, his name was Steve, and I can't remember how I got into this conversation with this guy, but he said he started visualizing, which that's cool. We're going to get to that in a little bit more. But he started visualizing a beautiful blonde woman to have in his life. A beautiful blonde woman to have in his life. And he just wanted this beautiful blonde woman in his life. And he would sit back in his chair and he would visualize a beautiful blonde woman in his life, right? And then he went on to tell a story. He was just real consistent with visualizing this and seeing this and wanting this beautiful blonde woman in his life. And you know, unbeknownst to him, you want to know that beautiful blonde woman in his life came into, and I don't know about the whole story or nothing, but you know, the beautiful blonde woman that he attracted in his life was his boss's wife. You know? Yeah, and I can't remember, you know, whatever happened. Doesn't matter. You know, there's that saying that I said before. It's like, careful what you wish for, careful what you wish for, careful what you wish for, and you might get it. But you don't, you know, careful what you wish for, you might get it. And that's what I'm leading up to that next, is that you need to be specific. You need to be specific. Specific with what you want. Yeah, you got to be specific, because in your life you're being specific about some of the things that you don't like in your life, like the thing, maybe the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that you're having about money. You're being specific about those. Oh, I always get these bills all the time. Oh, I never have enough money. Oh, I this. Oh. You know, always complaining about the bills, and it's like, and you keep attracting money and issues and problems and stuff, you know, and it's like, it's the things you're repeating, it's the thoughts that you're having, it's the beliefs, it's the feelings. It's the feelings. You know, the feelings are having about it too. So the thing that I want to mention here greatly is being specific. Start being specific about the things that you want, because you're being specific about the negative things. You got to start being specific about the positive things. Like one of the videos I tell, I write new business every week. And that was probably the first completely conscious experience that I went through, that I had. I write new business every week. And I was specific with it, that I wrote new business every week. I wasn't specific to say that I write 10 new policies every week. I just kind of left it open, right? And I think it was a good experience for me to do that, because then I started writing new business every week. And then, and then maybe there was, a time or two when I only wrote 1 or 2 policies that week. And then there was other weeks that I wrote 5 or 6 policies in that week. So it's about being specific with what it is that you want and with the desires. And remember, I talked about that just a synergistic process, the thought, and then adding the good feelings about it and the belief. And, sometimes because we are so complex as a people, that sometimes that, maybe you're having the thought, and maybe the feeling isn't pure, because sometimes the feeling need to be pure. Because what if you're saying, money flows easily and freely from multiple resources on a continuing and increasing basis into my life. I am financially wealthy. But so there's an example that I'm using it. But in the back of your mind, because you grew up around parents that were always there, you got to work for everything. Money don't grow on trees, whatever it is, the kind of programming. Remember I talked about the little thing in the back of your head right here. This is like the little recording. If it's not being completely pure feeling, then you're gonna put a little kink into the system, and it's not going to go like a gears, okay? It's not going to go like a gears. So the feelings that you're having have to be pure. And, the whole process is about when you're consciously doing this and trying to bring these things in your life or simply make changes in your life. Period. Like the fact that, when I was driving around my little Porsche, and I started thinking that I have to watch out for all these head drivers. I got to watch out for all these head drivers. And then I started attracting all of them. And then it was like, and I got to stop that. No. So you can't go from, when it comes to these things and trying to make changes in your life, you can't go from this to I'm going to be a millionaire and then start going bam right to the millionaire thing. I think quite honestly, as a person, you need to start out small, and because you need to put yourself through what I call the felt experience. You have to know what it feels like going through the experience to be able to understand it. So for me, for example, all the things that I noticed in my life that I was going through blindly, that I was manifesting, that were coming to pass, and that they happened, just like my little story of the house, on the first house that I wanted and how I wanted it, it was like, I can look back that and honestly say that I put myself through the felt experience of that. And seeing the process that I had for that, and so it's important for you to understand and know that you start to listen to your self-talking, and you start just paying attention to the things in your life that are going on. That's the first step, really, is to listen to your self-talking. Start paying attention to the things that you're saying. Start paying attention to the feelings that you're having. And you need to just be, I would say this, that you need to go into a self-analyzation of yourself, okay? It's kind of like having a third person out here watching and listening to you. It's kind of like you have to do that for yourself. You have to start with this just kind of self-analyzation of you. And what are you thinking? What are you feeling? What are you believing? What are those things? You need to go into kind of an in-depth look just at that alone. And when you start to look at the in-depth aspect of that alone, I guarantee, and you got to be consistent with that, because the truth isn't always going to come to the surface immediately. No, it won't. You got to be like going, why, and asking why, and start paying attention to the things that you're saying and the things that you're thinking and the things you're believing. And when we have things going on in our economy, and you remember hearing people blaming Obama for their problems or whatever that's going on in the economy, and blaming other things for all the problems that are going on, and those are the kinds of things you need to pay attention to. What is your self-talk? What are the things that you're saying? Are you doing any things like this too?